Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we go live or post videos, tap the bell. And if you want to get connected to the UVH fam, links are below to our Discord along with our free option trading group. If you're here right now, say what up. What's going on, Alex? Right. Just getting things going here. Pop off my drink quick. Close down some of these windows here. Hope everyone's doing good. Jeff, what's going on? All right. We're back into it. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Ben says hi. Arctic Wolf, what it do? What's going on? Yo, Starman got paid. Sharon got paid. Nice. Gold Gamer got paid. 4 out of 4 this week. Congrats, living the dream. Yeah, for me this week. I ended the week unfortunately flat, but I'm not complaining. Like Monday and Tuesday, I definitely was on the struggle bus, and I'm glad that I just kind of like smacked myself in the face and kind of came to. Not saying like I did amazing today, bro. I got wrecked. Although about selling my call options on Wednesday. Yep. Yeah, I talked about it, Julio. I talked about it a lot the other day. Was the main factor for me this week was greed was driving a lot of my trades versus like fundamentals, and it was wrecking havoc in my portfolio. So for me today, let me pull up Tastyworks. For me today, I mean, I did a lot of trades. Not necessarily a good thing. I closed the day up about 120 or so on the day. The main thing, I'm not going to go through like 100% of my trades here because we're going to be here forever. I mean, if you're looking here, I mean, I got a scrollable list here of trades. I think I did over like 30 trades today. Not necessarily good. And I think the main thing today was just gotta like kind of slow it down. Yeah, Dennis realized, if you're watching this and this video is of value to you, hit the like button. Definitely appreciate it. Arctic Work learned a lesson. Dennis got paid. Ariana, if you bought the 293 put, yeah, we're gonna be looking at some of my trades here. So we're gonna be talking about some of the things that we left on the table. But before we get into the trades, I mean, it was just a crazy day. I think for me, I think it was the fake out, and I also went in today with baggage. Like if I'm looking at this Tesla trade, Tesla was my biggest loser today. I lost $170 on it. And be like, how the heck did you lose $170 on it? And it all came down to baggage. I mean, I'm glad that I ended the day profitable because this morning at open, I was definitely not profitable. I was down about 150. I closed the day up about 120. So that was good. But Tesla was my biggest loser, and I lost $124 on the 215 put, and you're like, how the heck did you do that? And I had the 215 put on for a couple days, and yesterday, my biggest mistake was yesterday when Tesla dropped down to like 218. I was break even. I should have exited the trade at break even instead of taking near max loss. And they're like, oh, why did you close it today? The reason why I closed it today, if you're looking at this chart here, if we're just looking at the chart, we came down to 218, and then it was just like ripping, it was just ripping up. And I thought, oh man, if this goes to like 224, it's gonna be worth nothing. And I ended up closing like Tesla down. Let's see here. Let's pull up my trades here. Tesla. Not proud of it. Tesla, that 215 put I closed for 33 cents. I got 33 cents back. You know, and I didn't think that whole Trump thing. This was before the Trump tweet. So this was, you know, the market. Think about it in these, like, the market dropped this morning because of the Chinese tariffs, and then the market started recovering rather quickly. And rather than get stuck with zero, I'm like, okay, I'll take the $33 back because it's better than zero, right? It's better than going max loss. You never want to go. You never want to go max loss. And I went that 215 put. You know, if we look here. You know, I think overall today would have been a lot better if we just kind of slowed it down. I think that goes, you know, that 215 put. I mean, I didn't close it out at the low of the day. I closed it out for 33 cents, and then it reached a low of 9 cents. I mean, if you look at when I was saying like it was starting to gain momentum, I closed it out for 33 cents, like down in here, and then it reached a low of 9 cents, and then immediately ripped up from 9 cents to $4. I mean, if you bought one, you would turn $9 into $400 within an hour. And it's like, why didn't I play that? Why didn't I trade that? Honestly, I didn't think it was going to drop this fast, this quickly. You know, after taking a hit, you know, it wasn't a trade that I wanted to get back into. But now that 215 put, if I just held on to it, risk the $33. But I mean, you can't think like that because it doesn't work 100% like that 100% of the time. You know, I got trumped. Derek, Sharon bought the 292 put at open. Nice, congrats. I didn't Tyler. I didn't trade CRM. One of the bigger trades that I was making today was on Roku. I lost a little bit of money. We got some back. I had a couple good trades in here. I initially lost like $18, but then I got about $30 back overall. So we're still down $68. On Netflix, had a couple good back-to-back trades on the 295 put, made 67, and then on the 290 put, we made 29. You know what? I probably should have stopped myself there instead of rolling down the 287.50 puts. But I thought they were going to crack, and I lost $27. So, you know, Netflix we still ended up green on the day. Nvidia was another one that was kind of crazy. I kind of had a gain and I had a loss, and then it balanced out. Initially, I had the one. So I had the 170 put on Nvidia here, and I sold that. That was actually my first trade this morning. If you go to the bottom here, this actually says NVIDIA. Let me take me down here. So I actually sold it for 201, and this was kind of another one. This was just crazy. And the reason why I sold it right open is because it dipped down. We gapped down pretty hard. We were down at like the 167, and it looked like it was going to recover. And you know that it totally just faked me out right there. So I did make a nice gain on that 170 put. But if we look at NVIDIA. You know, there was just some really wide ranges and things were happening really fast. So if I would have just left it on, I would have made an additional $500. But you know, this went from 58 cents yesterday up to 765 today. I mean, it's just like insane. You know, I thought I got a good deal, and I did. I got a great deal right at open. I sold it for $205, and it crept up to $379, and then back down to $1. I mean, I guess we could have reloaded, but no one was going to anticipate like the Trump tweet. I mean, these were going for $1 and instantly up to $7. Within this is the 15-minute chart too. So within 15 minutes, it went from $1.50 or $1.40 all the way up to like $6. You know, and the chart shows it right here. I mean, the chart reflects that from 170 down to 162. So I mean, you can't time tweets. I mean, I guess we should have known that like China was going to retaliate. I mean, Trump was going to retaliate or do something. But I guess we just, the market was just recovering. It was a complete fake out because we had the gap down. I won on Nvidia on the 170 put, had the gap down, locked in the profits, and then it was going down further. I guess you could have reloaded. I normally don't like to exit and re-enter, which I was doing today, and it didn't really work out like that great, I would say. Um, on Boeing today, Boeing we actually did pretty decent on. I mean, it got the majority of our gains. We did give some up here into close. I mean, initially, I was trying to short. The initial issue with Boeing this morning is because I was trying to short it on weakness, and it was just ripping. So initially here on Boeing today, it went in the first 15 minutes. It went from like 355 up to 362. I mean, it's just Boeing was ridiculous, and still it did not go red on the day. Boeing did not go red. It's just currently in college, and I've been trading puts and calls from some like cash videos help out. Tyler. I'm glad they've been helping. And Boeing, I would say I overtraded, and we gave up some gains. Like we lost another $96, so our profit on the day is about $119 on Boeing. Did close out like 215 and realized, but minus 96, we're at like 119. So, just to be aware of that. Sometimes when you're winning on a ticker, not to overtrade it, not to keep going with it. I mean, we had a nice wide range. Once Boeing started to work out, I mean, we started to kind of lock in those gains here. The one that paid the most was what strike was that? The 355 puts. So the 355 puts we traded a couple times. So initially I bought the 355 put. That was the first trade this morning. I got $30 off of. So bought it for $70, sold it for $1 off the 355 put, and then we kind of gave some back. We bought the 355 put again, and we bought it for $60 and sold it for $40. So we lost. We were only up $10 on the day at that point. And then I bought the 360 put for 62 cents, and then sold it for $1.31. So that was a decent gain. We locked in about 100%, 110% on that. And then I bought the 355 put again but I bought two of them this time for 27 cents and then sold them for 95 cents. So that's where the majority of the gains came from. I lost some money on the 350 put and the 365 put, and that the 365 call, that kind of teaches you a lesson not to overtrade the same ticker, because we were doing fairly well in here, but then when it got towards the end of the day, also when you're trading same day expiration, you gotta start scaling back. I was scaling in as the day was getting later, and volatility was drying up, and as you can see here, like at the end of the day, Boeing didn't really move that much. Tesla didn't really move that much. Nvidia didn't really move this much at the end of the day. And Netflix, this is Netflix right here. Netflix was doing okay, but you gotta be careful if you're trading like same day expirations, not to overtrade the tickers. When you make a couple bucks, wait for the setups. If I would have been more patient, but I think it was just for me today was just the fake out. We had the bullish rip up. I had existing positions that I was carrying over from a couple days ago. And if you guys haven't noticed, I've been also not swing trading as much as I used to. I think the way that I've been approaching this is just going in clean, going in with a clear mind, and trading the tape. Not trying to overthink it, just following the trends, being able to enter positions and exit positions. Buying strangles. I mean, I guess they would have worked out today. If we look at what was it, like Wynn Resorts and Alibaba and all that. I had the 170 put yesterday that I sold for a profit on Alibaba yesterday, but the puts on actually Wynn came back a little bit. These were up like 15,000% at one point. Alibaba, these puts are up 1,500, 500. I had the 170 put yesterday that I sold. I think I made about $70, $80 on it, and that was up pretty big, But anyways, I want to hear how you guys did. If the video was of value to you so far, hit the like button. Alexis, what's going on? Alexis. Isn't Trump supposed to tweet something this afternoon? Tyler, he said he was going to. But I mean, this is just insane. I mean, and like, he's getting ready to go to the summit. I know that. And I think what people were saying. Let's go. I mean, I'm sure you guys all seen this. Okay. Here we go. And the worst part of, I guess the worst part about it, I think the worst part about it is he's like poking fun at it dropping when he was the one that caused it to drop, you know. But right here, I think one of the biggest issues is today was, you know, they were saying, where is it? I think the biggest issue, PB, what's going on? I think the biggest issue with today was this tweet right here. Was he said the Fed did nothing. It's incredible they can speak without knowing or asking what I'm doing. But I think the confusion is with what the president was that the Fed wasn't initiating any policy today or yesterday at their Jackson Hole meeting. They weren't initiating any policy, and here it's assuming that they were going to be announcing some sort of policy when that's really what it wasn't about. And if you think about it, Powell is only worth one vote out of the whole. I mean, yes, he is the speaker. He does all the press conferences and all that, but he's only like one vote out of 10 votes. He doesn't get to decide on his own what to do, what not to do. And you know, the Jackson Hole meeting, it wasn't to initiate or put in any policy. All they said was, you know, we're gonna stay the course and we're gonna try to expand the market and do whatever we can to help. But he didn't say anything about cutting rates. He didn't say anything about raising rates. He didn't say anything about staying the same. They're just saying, hey, we're monitoring what's going on here, and all of a sudden you're basically an enemy of the state, you know. And also, I want to point out, which is kind of interesting, is I definitely think, I don't know if he rewrote this, but he spelled Powell's name wrong. It was only one L. I don't know if Twitter gave him an edit button, because we don't the rest of us civilians, peasants, we don't have an edit button unless he deleted the tweet and then re-edited it. I'm not sure, but just to point that out. But anyways, I think that with the VIX, you know, the VIX we were having some trouble with the VIX when it was just down in the 15s and 16s. You know, we had a low volatility. We had to kind of take what we could get. We had to just kind of scrounge for profits. There wasn't really big rips or dips in the market. Now that we have VIX above 20 or 19, I think, you know, my sweet spot is when we're like 18 and above is when I tend to do the best. When things are slow, like volatility, we got like 15 or even like lower than that. I mean, it makes you just like, when volatility was like 12 and in 2017 VIX was like single digits, it makes you just like not want to trade at all. You know what I mean? On days like today, it just stupid is what stupid does. But anyways, yeah, someone brought up CRM. Let's look at some stocks that you guys want to look at. How'd CRM do today? So they had earnings yesterday. This would have been a good play. I think I normally like to play the day after earnings generally, but I just was so busy with everything else, you know. When the market is slow, I look for like after earnings plays, and this would have been a great play to play the fade on this thing, you know, CRM. And I think across the board, options were just mispriced altogether. You know, let's look at these 155s. Options were mispriced, and they weren't assuming any retaliation. I mean, yeah, these went from 14 cents at open to 375. I mean, you could have made, and in retrospect, you could have been, you're like sitting back and you're like, oh man, I could have made tens of thousands of dollars a day with low risk and all that. But at the same time, I mean, you can't think like that because you can't predict the future. You know, what I'm thinking of doing, kind of like my own strategy internally, is okay. I've pretty much stopped swing trading. I haven't really been doing any strangles, which I've been doing for a long time. I've been looking at really short term trades, and I've kind of adjusted my positions. I think that I've been hitting like the 30 to 40% gainers pretty easily and pretty successfully. So I think that what I'm going to do is start scaling up in those areas. Once I hit 30-40% gains, I'll take the position off and scale into another trade, but I'll start trading more contracts. So instead of trading one contract, maybe I'll trade 3 to 5, or depending on what it was. I also had earlier in the week, we also had a pretty nice gainer on Teva. This run up to 750, we had over 100% gain running up on there, which was pretty nice. Do you also do knockouts? I don't know what's a knockout. I haven't heard that expression yet. Starman says, "Is it just me, or is SPY showing similarity to the last big drop?" Yes, I talked about this. What was it, Monday or Tuesday? So let's look at SPY. I was talking about SPY the other day when we were up at like 294, 293, and I said, you can roll the tape back a couple days ago. I said, we got to be really careful up here because this is the last few times we dropped was from here. So just be careful and just make sure you manage your risk. And I know there's a lot of people, especially in our Discord, there's some people that actually blew their accounts up today. If you made it out today alive and you didn't blow your account up, even if you lost a little bit of money, be thankful that you could trade again. I always say that, whether you win or you lose money, the question is, can you trade again tomorrow? Are you able to put more positions on tomorrow? If the answer is no, if you lose all that's in the trades, if you lose everything, if you can't trade tomorrow, you're scaled up way too big. And if you're trading with if you have $100 or less in your account, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's gonna be very hard to be successful. It's gonna take you a long time. You can't trade. You're gonna have to be trading small tickers like Teva, Snap, GE, stuff like that, and honestly, it takes a while. So you have to be patient, and you're like, why am I not making $100 in a day? Or I'm like, if you have $100 account and you blow it up, I mean, it's not that bad, but you got to be patient. You gotta make sure you're managing your risk and you're trading tickers that you can afford. You'd be trading like GE. I mean, this is a nice GE fade from 10.50 down to $8, but I mean, this took like 3 weeks. This takes time. So that's that. I guess that's kind of the end of my rant for that. But I think in terms of like SPY, you're looking at the Qs and stuff like that. Now that we're back down here, I think that we also have to be mindful of a bounce. Like right in here, it's been bouncing at the 284, 283, 282 level. We almost hit 282 today. I think what was the low today on SPY? At 283.47. So, I'm not saying go all bullish, but you gotta manage your risk and manage your portfolio. And if you're putting in 100% of your portfolio, that means you're 100% exposed. You could get into some real trouble. It doesn't matter if you have $100, $500, $10,000 account or a $100,000 account. It doesn't really matter. What matters is how you scale your risk and take your profits. And today I did a lot better job at taking my profits than yesterday, because yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook and in Discord, I was up about 240 on the day and actually closed the day down about 100 or so. So there were some swings that I went from, and I've said this many times, that one of the things that I hate the most is when you go from a green day to a red day, and I wasn't gonna let myself have another red day today. So that's why I think I got a little aggressive when I got some of the profits up and got taken away. But overall, I think today was a good day. Any stocks that you guys want to look at while we're chatting? The Qs the same way. The NASDAQ ETF, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but just be mindful, we have some nice ranges. If we keep trading in like a range here, like if we're trading from like 180 to 190 and we're just pinging back and forth, I mean, this is some great opportunities for options traders. When volatility is low, it doesn't make it for that interesting of trades and not that much fun. But when volatility is higher, when we're at like 18 and above, in the 20s and 30s, that's when things get, more fun. My sweet spot recently has been like in the 30 to 40 delta range, so that's kind of where I've been having my best opportunities. Yeah, so. So if you're here right now, you made money, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Any stocks that you guys want to look at here? Oh, did you spot TJX? Luis, sorry, I missed your comment here. TJX. Lyft. Man, I haven't actually played them. I mean, let's see what their liquidity is like. Yeah, the one thing I don't like about these guys, they only have monthly options, monthly expiration, and the volume is kind of low. It's probably why I don't really look at them. Lyft and I've been talking about these the last couple times. Lyft and Uber, I mean, they're below IPO price now. I mean, they're just getting slammed. I mean, and almost every day this week green till today. Well, oh man, just come back. We're just gonna come back stronger next week. Like Monday, we're gonna come in, but we're not gonna get aggressive. We're just gonna take profits and move on. You tell yourself that, and then you're like, you're like, you got the itch, You're like, oh. I like Lyft down in here, but the biggest problem that I have with Lyft and Uber is that they don't make any money and they don't have a pathway to make money. Profits, I mean. So there's no path to success, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows where the future is. I mean, I do like to use Uber and Lyft over a taxi in the Chicago area because taxis are terrible in Chicago. I do like to use Uber and Lyft, but I mean, I don't really get that much a difference of experience between either one. And then the food service, I think that DoorDash does a lot better job than like Uber. So I think that we're going to be coming. I think that they're going to have to go a little bit lower, honestly, until they can start creating some value for the shareholders or start innovating in some way. We have here in Germany, and additionally, the option knocks out so you define a stop loss and have a leverage to find how near you are at the stop loss you define, so you can win big or lose all. Options knockouts. Is that like betting? I mean, I guess options are kind of like gambling. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Walmart. I mean, Walmart did great as well as Target, but I would say you gotta be very careful about this potential gap fill to 106. If it comes back down, I would go long at like 106. I would have a much easier time of going long at like 106 than I would right now, And they didn't actually do that bad today. I mean, they had a nice bounce, but you just gotta be careful about how this trade war can escalate because Trump was going to put some tariffs on, but then he pushed him back to December because Trump was really worried about the what is it called? Holidays. He was really worried about the spending in the holidays if there's going to be tariffs put on. We were supposed to get tariffs put on in September, but he delayed them into December because he was really worried that they were going to interfere with holiday spending. And obviously, when we get closer to December, Trump's really concerned about the elections, and he's riding everything on the economy for his reelection, basically, because if you think about his campaign promises, he's going to build the wall, make Mexico pay for it. I mean, he's building the wall, but we're paying for it. He's already lowered taxes, so that's already a campaign promise that he fulfilled. He can't. I don't think he can lower taxes again. I mean, he can go again. He can go for corporate taxes, I guess, and try to raise them on like Amazon and Google and stuff like that, which is like, or whatever the case is. But right now he's riding his campaign on the economy, which is pretty. I would have to say ballsy, because the president doesn't have full autonomy over how well the economy does. The president plays a very small piece in how well the economy does. Sure, there's stuff that he can, like, especially like tariffs and all that stuff, he can control. But that's why he gets so mad with the Fed. He's like, I can't believe they're doing this stuff without consulting me. They don't need to consult you. I mean, this is the reason why there's checks and balances. So looking at Walmart and the retail stocks, I would just be, today he was hot. Like, today he was hot, and they probably took Trump and locked him into a closet to calm him down a little bit, because he started going on a tirade, and then it crashed the market. His tweets literally crashed the market. He didn't do anything. Nobody did anything. Trump, China put on the $75 billion in tariffs. Trump didn't do anything. He just sent out some tweets. There was no policy. He didn't make anything happen. He just put out some tweets, and then we're down, like the Dow's down 700 points. So it's kind of interesting. So no policy has been put in place, but if he gets, it seems like like how we always say, hey, don't trade off of emotion. I mean, he's placing his bets on all emotion. I mean, he's using his emotions to direct policy and govern, which I guess you can see the fallout of that. I put an out of the money strangle for a long swing, 28 cents just in case. Yeah, good idea. I'm holding off trading on Monday. Want to see how the market reacts. Good old gamer. I think Monday, will just be good for some scalps. Try to go in, try to scalp. Get a couple 30% winners in and call it a day. I wouldn't try to get too aggressive, because right now, China fired a shot, and we're waiting to fire something back. We're going to fire something back. We are definitely, at least that's my opinion. Trump's just not going to take it, whether it's this week this upcoming week, or this month or next month. But he's working in the background. He's trying to figure it out. And I think I don't know how true this is. I mean, I understand that there's not a lot of fact checking these days in the news and all that. But one thing that I did read, which you kind of have to take into consideration, is that, I'll say this for, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. But CNBC put an article out a couple weeks ago saying that he's basically gone rogue. He's not consulting with his advisors on what to do with the economy. And the reason why you would have an advisor as a president is because you're not going to be an expert in all things. Like, it doesn't matter where you work. Like, if you work a job, you're not an expert at all aspects of your company. You are good at what you do for your job, right? And then you consult with other departments if you need different things. And then the company operates as a whole. Same with like a government. The government, I'm not saying it operates the way it should or anyway, but there's a lot of experts, there's a lot of departments, and you need to consult with those, and then the machine moves together. He's tweeting. Yeah, I think this weekend, I was thinking the reason why people probably were selling right at close is because they didn't want to, oh boy. Well, at least the market's closed. All right, here we go. I told you he's going to fire some shots back. I literally just said that. All right, he just tweeted this. For many years, China and many other countries has been taking advantage of the United States on trade, intellectual property theft, and much more. Our country has been losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China with no end in sight. Sadly, past administrations have allowed China to get so far ahead of fair and balanced trade that has become a great burden to the American taxpayer. As president, I can no longer allow this to happen. In the spirit of achieving fair trade, we must balance this very unfair trading relationship. China should not have put new tariffs on $75 billion of United States product it's politically motivated. Started on October 1st, the $250 billion of goods and products from China currently being taxed at 25% will be taxed at 30%. Additionally, the remaining $300 billion of goods and products from China that was being taxed from September 1st at 10% will now be taxed at 15%. Thank you for your attention. Okay, so that's probably why, this is probably why people didn't want to hold over the weekend, long. The market was actually doing relatively well this week up until yesterday. Trade war with China or real war? We're at an economic. We're wrestling between our economies right now. So much about what he had to say about Tim Apple. Yeah, he said, "F Tim Apple. We're going to be doing these tariffs anyways." Tim's going to be calling up Trump, be like, "But sir, we need to not raise tariffs on the Apple products. We need to make sure that we maintain profitability for our very expensive phones." Dennis, the thing is about a recession is you may already be in a recession and not know it. No one knows when a recession is going to hit. Like we could I'm just messing around today. We could already be in a recession currently. I mean, the main thing that you want to look at is like the interest rates and where the money is going. You have to understand where the money is going. Right now, the stock market is still relatively high. However, interest rates have been coming down. That's why people have been getting concerned about the yield curve. And if the interest rates are coming down and bonds are looking more attractive than stocks, if bonds are looking more attractive, then you kind of see how that's going to go. The flow out of the stock market is going to happen, and we have to see what happens with the economic growth and the reports on that. I mean, home sales have slowed down, so right now we're like this. we're just like teetering. Tobin, no Coke. I've actually cut back on Coke. I've been going. Actually, this is the reason why I drink this is it doesn't have any sugar and it has caffeine. The only thing that I'm addicted to in this life is caffeine and options trading. So. So we knew. Anyways, getting back to this, we knew Trump probably had this all planned out, but we probably would have been if he tweeted this while the market was open, the Dow probably would have went down 1,000 points. According to all the technical indicators, we've already entered a recession. Yeah, I mean it's everything about the market and the economy is speculative. Like you could have multiple experts looking at the same thing, right? So you can have people saying, actually today there was a guy on CNBC saying, "Oh, hey guys, the bottom is in. Now's a good time to buy." That's what he was saying. He's like, "When have you ever lost on a pullback from a trade war news? Never." But with that kind of mentality is when you lose the biggest, because if you keep, from my experience, when I've made repetitive trades and I keep making the repetitive trades, keep making money, and let's say as you go into it, okay, I made good money this time. Okay, I'm gonna up my position next time. Oh, I made money. Okay, great. I'm gonna up my position, and then the next time you up your position again, you go in there and then you lose not only that investment but your profits that you already made. So it's not a good thing. But looking at this, you could be like, oh, this is good pullback for the bulls. I mean, we could easily go back up to 300. Which we could. But then you're thinking about this as from like a bearish standpoint. Okay, we came up here a couple times, hit the high 300s. We made a high here, made some lower highs here. Next stop is 270. So it's really about perspective, and unfortunately, this is all news. This is all news driven. Today's movement was all news driven. we were doing fine. I mean, we were, we gapped down. We opened the market gap down a little bit, but it was recovering just fine. You're like, oh, okay, 75 billion of tariffs, that's fine. And we're moving back up. But then Trump had to get involved, and that's why we have this, which, it's good and bad. I mean, we created some opportunity. For the long term, my opinion is I wouldn't be upset if we did come back. We did have a nice reset of the economy, because for people that, now don't take this the wrong way, for people that are in a good position to take advantage of that, that's what people with cash, people able to invest in a down market, and people, that's where people become literally millionaires. That's where people get ahead in life. When there's an economic reset and you invest your money, eventually the economy recovers and things move back up. But the flip side of this is for the everyday person. How many people got to lose their jobs? How many 50 and 60-year-olds that were making six figures are now looking? We saw this in 2008, and that was the Great Recession. But how many people lost their jobs? How many people were on unemployment? How many people were college graduates that were VPs of companies and all that, were being working as secretaries at State Farm or stuff like that. I mean, it was insane. And if I know, I'm sure there's people here that were working in that time or trading in that time or knowing what was happening. But I mean, I don't wish that on anyone. But on the flip side, you do want some sort of economic reset, so that way a new generation can come in and start building wealth. Are you talking about American Airlines stock crash? No. Yo, but I did fly American Airlines, and I don't get nervous when flying, but I got nervous when I was flying American Airlines last time from Orlando to Chicago. I mean, the plane just literally dropped, and I was flying out of the seat of my pants, and people were crying and praying. It was insane. And the problem was, it was early on in the flight, so then you're sitting on the whole flight waiting for the next thing to happen, So anyways, guys, been great chatting with you. I'll see you guys again on Monday. Stay safe, stay green. It's always us versus herd.